Pile Hot Air Balloon EP review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to kick off my reviews for 2024. Hey guys, it's been a little while. Hope everybody had a great holiday season, enjoyed some of my throwback reviews. I'm ready to get back into it, and I've got a super busy week planned, but quickly I want to chat about this Pile EP that dropped about a week and a half ago. Pile, if you don't know, are a post-hardcore and art rock band based out of Boston, led by the great Rick McGuire, who, you know, in my early days of post-hardcore when I was super into stuff like Ken Mode, Pile was a band that just really spoke with me and connected with me really fast. Their explosive style and Rick's explosive mannerisms in his music are the stuff of underground legend. However, I still to this day am not the biggest fan of their Demonstration album as an intro to their discography. I honestly think the thing's a little too lo-fi. But shortly after, with albums like Jerk Routine and Magic Isn't Real, Pile's music really started to click with me. This blended, the sounds of throttling post-hardcore, but also the weird sides of indie rock, experimental rock, and most importantly, art rock. And by the time Dripping came along, the band had its own sound. It was doing it really well. And I still, to this day, think that it hasn't gotten any better than the You're Better Than This album. Now, I did lose sight of the band with A Hair Shirt Full of Purpose. I thought this was the most lost sounding that they had come across in some time. Shockingly so. The band for so many years leading up to that point had been so consistent. To hear them put out something that is just really not up to snuff was pretty shocking to me. But in 2019 with Green and Gray, I do think they put out one of their better records. It personally caught me off guard, just because how great it really is. I would put this in a top 3 Pile album category here. The drama here, the intensity. It was throttling and sweaty, but it was also really pensive and emotional. Now, last year the band put out All Fiction, which I thought was okay at best. This was easily one of the band's most experimental recordings to date. And there were a lot of highlights here, but overall I just felt like they really needed to push themselves a lot farther. This thing felt a little incomplete to me. Now, less than a year later, we're getting this accompanying EP, and you could definitely tell from the sound of these tracks that they were from the same sessions. But personally, I feel like we're in a spot where Pile are taking more risks than necessary, and it's starting to get a little messy. Take, for example, The Birds Attacked My Hot Air Balloon. This was a single leading up to this thing, and from the word go, I was just not feeling it. It's a very artsy, very surreal, very hazy track that taps into Pile's experimental side. It's been there for years. And listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat, they've put out great tracks in this vein. But this to me just really is not it, man. This to me is not the complete package. Lyrically, it may have some interesting moments throughout, and, Rick does his best with this, but this track barely progresses, and it really doesn't change at all. It's just not what I'm looking for from Pile these days. Honestly, it kind of put me to sleep. Only for a Reminder is even less in my wheelhouse. First of all, why is this track so long? It's easily the longest track here. And secondly, why does this track start off with a progressive synth odyssey? It just sounds really awkward with Rick's vocals. It's clunky, it's really awkward, and once again, this to me seems like an unnecessary risk for the band. This to me, on a short EP, is like pulling teeth. And, maybe a track like this in an album where, we're getting more of these sounds, it could have worked a little bit more, but this to me just, it's too much. On the other hand, we get tracks like Scaling Walls here, which I once again not sugarcoat. This is 100% where I want to hear Pile in 2024. Between the very twisted tension that we get here and the lurking bass riff that we get, this is awesome. And I just love hearing Rick within this very swirling, very elegant post-hardcore atmosphere. He sounds great. No, this is him at his most stoic and prophetic. It's just a constantly shifting post-hardcore jam with a super artsy atmosphere. It's what I show up for. Exits Blocked, it definitely is a grower, but it did grow quite a bit on me. I heard another semi-low-key intro and I almost just shut this thing off, trust me. But to me, this is a really great experiment in tension and build-up, all of it leading up to this chorus. And it's not the most like bombastic or loud chorus, but we've gotten plenty of those from Pyle over the years. But no, this is definitely not it, but it's very monolithic and hypnotic. The artsier side of Pyle still definitely has its merit, and this is a great example of it. And I love how hellish and off-kilter it gets by the finale. Great track. But if there's anything that this EP has shown me, I think it's that Pyle really need to refocus right now and kind of, clear their minds a little bit, because you get to decide as a finale. It's one of the most middle-of-the-road tracks I've heard from Pyle in a while. I mean, I hate to say it, but the whole first half of this track, the only thing that I have written in my notes is, we've been here before, and we have. A lot of the verses on this track are not that exciting. I feel like we've been here before. Now, it definitely does build up to this chorus, which is one of the best on this EP. It really is just this, guttural, just really intense chorus. It actually gave me the chills, but overall, this track is not, definitely not all up to stuff. It's just okay, and this EP is just okay. If you found yourself to be a fan of the sounds of All Fiction last year, give this a shot. It's definitely in the same vein, but for me, while this EP has some really great moments, some truly great moments, overall, I think it's time to refocus. For now, I'm feeling a decent 5 on this EP, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.